Don't worry about it. I'm gonna give you what I give you, and here, this is what we're doing. Welcome in, guys. This is our Sunday class, right? Remember, every Sunday I teach from the 48 laws of power, and today we're talking about scarcity, right? We're talking about the scarcity mindset. I feel like it's very important to do the scarcity class right now before y'all get these income taxes, because even listen, a lot of y'all gonna get a large amount of money that you may not have, you're not used to having at one time, and you still gonna be broke. Where's my button at? Because of scarcity. So today we are going to talk about scarcity. Scarcity is learned and not inherited. If this is your first time here, welcome in. My name is Coach Misty. I'm your identity strategist, strategist, your transformation coach, your manifestation queen, and overall bad bitch. And an overall bad bitch. Huh? Yeah. Even with the dress on, they like, damn, even with the dress and the pearls on and her little Betty Boop finger wave, I'm still a bad bitch. I'm still from Cleveland. Fuck you mean. And today we're going to talk about how scarcity is learned and is not inherited. What's up, buttercups? I want you to know that today's class requires maturity. Say this again. Today's class requires maturity. You understand me? We are not blaming parents. We are not blaming the government. We are not blaming trauma. Okay? We are examining identity formation. Stop trying to blame everybody for your problems. You are in the situation you are in because that is the identity you adopted. Amen. Amen. I'm gonna say this again. The whatever situation you in, listen, whatever the situation you in is because the identity that you adopted. We're not blaming mama and them. We're not blaming grandmama. We're not blaming our boss. We're not blaming the first person that rejected us, the first job that rejected us outside of college. We're not blaming having kids young. We're not blaming none of that. If you are in a mindset, if you are in a place of scarcity, I want you to understand that that is a learned behavior. Listen, scarcity is learned, then it is structural. Listen, scarcity is learned, and then you create a life of scarcity. Yes, just like people create a life of wealth, you can create a life of scarcity. But here's the deal: if you can create a life of scarcity, you can also dismantle one. Come on in. What's up, Buttercup? Tapping is clapping and sharing is caring. If you're watching me on TikTok, I need you to share this out with three people. I don't care what time of the day it is. I don't give a damn if it is 3:31. Share it out with three people. Wake, welcome. That's right. We adopted our own identity, right? So if y'all don't know me, one thing about me is I'm going to do the I do, we do, you do. I told y'all I used to be a school teacher, and that was one of the best things that I took from education was the I do, we do, you do, and I use that in all of my classes, right? Even with the adults. Meaning, I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to give you the foundation. We are going to use what we learn together to make sure that we understand, right? I want to have some understanding. And then we're going to go ahead, thank you. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to have you do work on your own with it, right? Anything that you learned today, I want you to go ahead and implement that today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. I want you, not when I'm feeling better, not when I'm cute, but today. All right. Again, if scarcity is learned, then it is structural. And if it's structural, then it can be dismantled. Right. So we're going to start with the foundation. First of all, let me say that scarcity is not a financial condition. I'm going to sit with that for a minute. What's up? Come on, Leroy. Scarcity is not a financial condition. It is a psychological and behavior orientation towards resources. I'm going to repeat that again. Scarcity is not a financial condition. It is a psychological and behavioral orientation toward resources. I want you to know that two people can have the same bank account balance and operate from completely different internal states. I can have a million in the bank account. You can have a million in the bank account, but you can still feel like you don't have enough. You can still feel like you're in a state of scarcity. You can still feel like I got a million in the bank and I can't let it go. And when you feel like you can't do nothing with it, you can't spend it on nothing, you can't reinvest it, then that means nothing else is coming in. You will continuously have $1 million in the bank account and still have a mindset of scarcity, right? Here's the deal. Two people can have the same bank account balance and operate from completely different internal states. One feels constrained and the other one feels capable. And that difference I'm talking about is conditioning. I want you to know that scarcity is not defined by what you have, because I know a lot of people, I don't know about y'all, but I've met a lot of people in this world that didn't have much but was happy as hell. Y'all ever met somebody, y'all ever had that family member that didn't have much, but what they had, they was happy as hell with? Every time you went over there, it felt good. It felt like home. You felt love because they were happy. They weren't in the, they were happy with what they had. They never did say like, oh, I don't feel like I can get no more, but I'm happy with what I have now. What I have now makes me feel good, right? So again, scarcity is not defined by what you have. It is defined by how your nervous system responds to what you have. So here's the deal. If money makes you anxious, let me say this to say that. If money makes you anxious, that's conditioning. If having money, if the thought of having money, spending money, getting money, losing money, if any of that makes you anxious, that's conditioning. If opportunities make you hesitant, if when someone comes to you with an opportunity, the first thing you start thinking about is things that are bad or what if this go wrong, that's conditioning. And if stability make you suspicious, when you meet somebody and they offer stability to you and you be like, I don't know, especially in relationships, if you meet somebody that's stable and you start questioning them, or what's their motives of fucking with me, that's conditioning. And I want you to know that conditioning is learned through repetition. Right? So again, welcome in. My name is Coach Misty. I'm going to teach you how scarcity is learned and how we can unlearn it. Understand me? All right. If you ready, say you ready, because we're going to get into the foundation of it, right? I'm going to talk about how scarcity becomes normal. I always break these things down because a lot of us don't sit up and think about, how did I get to this mindset? Thank you. A lot of us don't sit up and be like, well, how did I get here? We just live in that. Whatever we in, we live in it. We don't think about how we got there. That's something that we don't do. We just live in it. So I'm going to force you to think about, how did I get here? What's the origin story of my mindset? And once you find the origin story, then we can start to auto correct, and we can unlearn that and learn something different. Hey, Lady Leo, thank you so much. All right, let's talk about it. Now, humans, humans normalize what they experience repeatedly. Okay? I'm saying this again. As a human, you're going to normalize what you experience repeatedly. For instance, uh, a lot of people, I, as a child, people would wait on me. I was the only child for 10 years. And even after my brother came, I was still the only girl. So I feel like I was the only child. So all my life, I grew up with people waiting on me. Not that I was lazy, not that I was entitled. I just grew up with people waiting on me. That was just the kind of environments I was in. I grew up in the church. I grew up with people waiting on me. I grew up, my parents, I grew up with people waiting on me. I had a mother who loved to clean and do other stuff, so I didn't have to do that. All I had to do as a child was take the trash out. I grew up with people waiting on me. And here's the deal. When you experience things repeatedly, it's normalized. So then as an adult, I found myself, I still had my mother up until a certain time when I moved to Texas. Before I moved to Texas, I still had a mother who would do stuff for me and who would wait on me. Then when I started dating, right, and got married, I would marry people who would wait on me. I'm talking about who would cater to me. I had a father who catered to me. So I listen. So when a man, so here's the deal. When I would be in situations and I would have female friends, and they would see how the men in my life would cater to me, would do stuff for me. They would be like, girl, they would try to say, oh, he must be a simp, or he lame, or I say nothing lame about him. Like, ain't nothing lame about him, because I normalized that. Like, I didn't feel like, people would be like, I can't believe that these people wait on you like that. I can't believe that. Da, 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 da. It's been happening all my life. So it was normal to me. I don't look at it one way or the other, right? But here's the deal, the same way I grew up with people waiting on me. And here's the deal. So then when I became, so now that I have my business, you know what I'm saying? I became the mogul that I am. Clock that T. Guess what? I pay people to wait on me. I value people's time. So I pay people to wait on me. Right? And then that way I could do other stuff. Thank you. I pay people to wait on me. Period. That's a job. To do something for me. Yeah, I love it. I love it here, right? If I can't have my mama here with me every day, I'm gonna pay somebody to wait on me. Even at this grown age of 45, I still have a mama who will wait on me. Talk crap, she'll do it. And it's not like, she just does it. You hungry? You want what you want? Tuna fish? I'm gonna make you lunch. I'm gonna whatever. You do what you do. Here's the deal. People waited on me not because I was lazy. People wait on me because I'm productive. I have other things that I do. So if you allow me to do what I do, see, here's the secret. Y'all ready? Here's the secret to Coach Misty. If you allow me to do, you do the stuff that I don't want to do, that you like to do, and you allow me to do what I do, I'm gonna take care of everybody. You see how that work? I'm gonna take care of everybody. As long as you allow me to be Coach Misty and get out here and make the money how Coach Misty like to make money, I'm gonna take care of everybody. Everybody gonna be good. Everybody gonna be straight. Yeah. You make sure I'm good, we all good. Period. You see how that see? Everybody gonna eat because you allow me to do me. Okay. But let's talk about on the other side. If you grew up here and we can't afford that, that's learned behavior. If you grew up in a household where everything was, we can't afford that, we can't afford that, we can't afford this. Now you normalize that. If you grew up at this, people telling you don't expect too much, that becomes normal. Or be grateful for whatever you get, especially a lot of women. If you heard somebody say just be grateful for whatever you get, whether it was your mother told you, your grandmother told you, a lot of us took that and put it into relationships. Or my favorite, money don't grow on trees. Yes, the fuck you do. Yes, it do. If you plan them right, money don't grow on trees. Those phrases did not simply pass through you. Those type of phrases shaped you. I am grateful and thankful that I never heard that growing up. I never heard you can't be 1,000, you can't be everything you want to be. Nobody never told me money don't grow on trees. Nobody never told me don't expect too much. And I didn't hear we can't afford that. Okay? I didn't hear we can't afford that. I never heard that. So here's the deal that shaped me into how I thought about money. That shaped my thinking about money. I never heard that we can't afford that. So even when I had my children, and yes, I had 4 kids opposed to my parents having two, and I had them young, I made sure that my children didn't hear stuff like that. So things that my children wanted to do, I did it. I made it happen. Right. And if maybe if I couldn't do it right then I did it. I did it down the line, but it happened. We figured it out because I never grew up with that, but a lot of us did, right? And understand what you hear shapes you. Language forms identity before identity forms behavior. I want you to write this down. Thank you. Language forms identity before identity forms behavior. One more time. Language forms identity before identity forms behavior. I'm gonna repeat that one more time because I need y'all to notice. Y'all programming your kids and your grandkids right now. Language forms identity before identity forms behavior. One of the best things my daughter Zoe ever did was start calling my granddaughter Queen. She calls her Queen. Queen this and Queen that. Zen. She don't call her Queen Zen. She call her the Queen. This is the Queen. Now Zen do act a little outrageous sometimes, but that's the Queen. And now Zen calls other females Queen. She, hey Queen. That's the one of the best things she ever could instill in her when she calls her Queen. I love it. I love it. Hey Queen. I love that. Why? Because language forms identity before identity forms behavior. Now, do Zen go to the daycare and take people's shit? Absolutely. Do Zen go to daycare and take people's shit? Absolutely. Do Zen make other kids play with her? But that's Queen. So, here we are. Again, listen, here's the deal. When a child repeatedly hears that resources are scarce, the body learns vigilance, right? The nervous system becomes, listen, the nervous system starts to anticipate having nothing. When you learn as a child that things are scarce, you start expecting to have nothing, right? And this prepares you for loss before loss occurs. You understand that? A lot of y'all are bracing to lose before the race has even started. My God. A lot of people are bracing to lose. If this is you, say it's me. If you are like, oh my God, I did hear that. You expect to lose before the race even started. Ain't nobody even said ready, set, go. And in your mind, you already lost. Come on, somebody. Y'all not ready for that. And here's the deal, that tension of that doesn't automatically disappear in adulthood. A lot of y'all say, well, I came from nothing and I made something of myself. But if you did not silence that little, if you didn't silence that little voice in your head, you still prepared to lose. A lot of y'all overachieve. A lot of y'all become overachievers because you scared to lose. Did you know that? A lot of y'all go into shit. A lot of y'all go into shit and do a whole bunch of shit that ain't got nothing to do with nothing because you scared, you ready, you think you gonna lose out. So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You got your hands in so much shit that you have your hands in nothing. Hmm. See, that little voice saying that you always gonna lose, it becomes a decision making style. And this is when you hesitate, when you overthink, when you minimize desires, and when you apologize for wanting more. And that's because these behaviors feel familiar, they feel reasonable, right? Because you grew up with that. All right. But I want to tell you, listen, that the being familiar is not truth, it's exposure. I'm gonna talk about scarcity as a survival response. Any questions about what we've been talking about so far? Go ahead, ask me questions. Any questions, concerns, or comments about what I done said so far? Because we're gonna learn, we're gonna get to the bottom of this shit today. For real. The bottom. Cock-a-doodle fucking do. What the roosters. I love it. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about scarcity. Scarcity is fundamentally protective. It is. It is your body saying, let's not risk too much. Let's not expect too much and let's not stretch too far. We just gonna do the bare minimum. If you ever experience instability, right? Whether it's financial, emotional, relational, or listen, anything, your nervous system learned that expansion can be followed by loss. If you are wondering why you keep running back to the same raggedy ass nigga year after year when you know that this ain't for you, it's because of instability, right? And instability, right? What did I say? Financial instability. If you at a job and you can't leave and you know you want to leave this job, you don't make enough money, the people hate you and you hate them, but you don't walk nowhere. That's because you have experienced instability somewhere else. Maybe you had a situation where you were homeless or almost homeless, or maybe you had to go back and live with your people, or maybe you lost your car. And because of that, you stay in situations you stay in situations that are safe but fucked up, right? Emotional instability, right? Maybe you've learned, maybe you know what it's like to be by yourself trying to raise these kids. So when they daddy come around because it's text, or maybe when that certain person come back around in your life and you know they no good for you, but you don't want to be alone, you go ahead and stay with that, right? So now, even when there is no threat, your body still prepares for one. So even when good shit comes along and you be like, wait, I can go apply for that job, your body is going to prepare you to be like, I don't want to take that because what if I lose my job? How many people have had opportunity to move from being a team member to being in management, but it causes them not to be in a union no more? How many people have seen them opportunities where you can like, I can move into management, but I'm not part of the union, and did not apply for it because they feel like, what if I lose my job? I won't be backed by the union. How many people have felt that before? I witnessed that at DART when I was a supervisor at DART. I came in a supervisor, so I never had a chance to be in a union or anything like that. I came in as a supervisor, and I would see a opportunity. Hold on, y'all. I swear to God. Hey, Zitty Poo, Grandma Live. Hey, Zen Zen. Hi. How was school? You're not gonna talk. You just gonna laugh. How was school, Queen? Say fine. Fine. How are you? Why? God damn it, Zen. Why is your shirt up? Zen, you look cute. Let grandma see your outfit. Let me see your outfit, Zenny Poo. Oh my God, girl. You looking good in your polka dots. Give grandma a kiss. What are you singing? She playing? All right, let me call y'all back. Listen, let me call y'all back when I get off for class. Bye, Zen Zen. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, Zen. All right, y'all. I'm back. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Gotta get my daily dose of Zen. She had a little black and white polka dot outfit. She looks so cute. So I'm back to what I was saying. A lot of us will forego opportunities, right? We Opportunities will present themselves, but we won't do it because we are afraid of losing in the long run, right? So we stay where we are. Right. So again, so even when there's no threat, your body still prepares for one. That's just like when women who have been in bad relationships finally meet somebody who meets their standards. And instead of going head first into this, because this is everything you asked God for, was this man that do XYZ elemental P, you then become hesitant and self-sabotage because what? Your body is still prepared for loss, right? And this is why some of us sabotage growth. Again, let me give you another example. You get a raise and immediately increase expenses. That's crazy work to me. How would you get a raise? You get a raise and then you go out and buy a new car and then you're back at square one. Or you enter into a stable relationship and start anticipating betrayal. You guys will call somebody to cheat on you because you think they're going to cheat on you. This person ain't doing nothing. They doing everything they supposed to do. But because your body has been conditioned to emotional instability, right? Emotional scarcity, you then have to recreate. Listen, you have to recreate that feeling in your current relationship, and you start accusing that person of things they haven't done, which makes the relationship then unstable, which makes the environment unstable. And then that person came into the shit stable and ready to love you now has to go find love somewhere else. And then then you'll be like, well, I told you he was gonna leave or she was gonna leave. I knew that was gonna happen, but you are the reason that it happened, right? Listen, or you begin to rest and you suddenly feel guilty. How many of y'all had a time where you could just lay down and rest? It wasn't time to go to sleep. It was you just had a time to rest, and then you feel guilty about just resting. I want you to know that your body is trying to return to a known baseline. When shit start like this start happening, listen, this when your body start feeling anxious, when good shit is happening to you, that's your body is trying to return to a known baseline, and that baseline has been struggle. That's your body returning to struggle. Your body don't know how to operate in happy shit. This is another reason why some of you people, some of the women who are healed and doing well for themselves, and I say doing well, I mean just don't mean financially, bitch. I mean mentally, emotionally, you doing okay for yourself, right? And then you go out here and you partner up with people who fucked up. You partner up with fucked up people because you feel like, well, I saved myself. I want to save somebody else. You hoes got your cape on, and then this person drains you and takes you down, and you don't know what happened. It's because they in the struggle, right? They in the struggle, and they trying to bring you to where they are. I keep on telling you, you don't rise to your expectations. People think you rise up. No, it is you lie where you are. You don't rise up to meet shit. You operate on the level that you at. Now the level that you at could be amazing. It's up to you. But stop going out here getting people trying to fix them, because in trying to fix them, they gonna pull from you, and then you gonna return to your baseline, which is what fucking struggle. And I'm gonna say this, and with struggle, whatever struggle it is, emotional struggle, relationship struggle, financial struggle, whatever the struggle is, if it's repeated long enough, it then becomes part of your identity. The what y'all want to say, it is what it is. No, the fuck it's not. It is what it is. This is just what it is. How about if I told you don't have to be like that, right? So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. So the reason why I'm teaching this class is because I want you to be aware. Awareness matters. Awareness is the first interruption. In order for you to change who the fuck you are, in order for this identity transformation to actually work, awareness is the first interruption. You cannot change a pattern that you refuse to see. You can't change it. That's why when I be talking to some of y'all or coaching y'all or doing when y'all call me and get a reading and I say something like y'all ask me about a dude and I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. And y'all be like, well, why it ain't gonna work? Well, he ain't shit. Well, why you say that? Why the fuck did you ask me about him? That's what I'll be like. First question is, why did you even ask me about him? For you to ask me about John, Jacob, whoever, for you to ask me about him, you had doubt about it in the first place. Or you can be like, what's going on with me and this person? And when I tell you this not gonna work, because that's what God showed me, then you want to question it. And after a 2, 3 times of going back and forth with you, bitch, I'm not playing volleyball with you. I'll leave it alone because it don't matter what I say, you are attached to that. That is part of your identity. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and get it in, girl. I'm gonna let you live, right? Again, you cannot change a pattern that you refuse to see. So if you believe scarcity is just who you are, you will defend it. That's that volleyball shit, right? Listen, if you recognize scarcity as a learn, then you can question it. And this is where responsibility begins. See, responsibility does not mean blame. Again, I told y'all when we first started this class, we're not here to blame your parents, your auntie, your daddy not being there, your baby daddy. We're not here to blame your grandmother. We're not here to blame none of that. We are here to take responsibility for the shit that we are doing today, and we can go ahead and unlearn it. It means that responsibility means that once you see the pattern, you are now accountable for whether it continues. See, many people prefer to keep scarcity because it justifies hesitation. Right? Let me explain that to you. If you believe that resources are limited, you don't have to risk visibility. If you believe that resources are limited, then you stay in your fucking lane. If you believe opportunity is rare, you don't have to raise standards. Right? If you believe your Prince Charming don't exist, then you can keep fucking with Mike. And I ain't met a dude named Mike that was. I ain't met now one Mike that was on the up and up. So y'all, we can fight about that in the parking lot. I'm gonna use the word Mike. If you believe time is scarce, then you don't have to prioritize yourself. Hmm? If you don't believe that there's enough time in a day, then you don't have to do nothing for you. I want you to know that scarcity can become a shield against expansion. If I'm going too fast or y'all not understanding what I'm saying, tell me to slow down. If I'm moving too fast or y'all not catching on, tell me to slow down or ask questions. You said agreed or heavy on the mics. I ain't never met a mic that was full that was worth 2 cents on the fucking dollar. You can hey listen, we go to the bank on that. I ain't never met a mic. Is everybody cool? Can I keep teaching or do you have questions? Because I just don't want y'all showing love and doing all this other shit and not understanding what I'm talking about or not catching on. Yes, no, maybe so. What we doing? We good? All right. So now remember I talked about language, right? We're going to talk about language. Language is a training tool. If you don't know nothing else, language is a training tool. He said, keep teaching. Language is not passive. Language, listen, the shit you say to yourself is not just shit you say to yourself. Language instructs the nervous system. So when you say shit like, I can't afford that, or I don't have time, or that's unrealistic, or my favorite one, well, I'll try, you are reinforcing limitation. I'm gonna say this again. When you say shit at your big back ass age, oh, I can't afford that, you'll never afford it. Or I don't have time to do that. I want to go back to school, but I don't have time. You'll never go back. Or I mean, I want to get married at 50, but that's really unrealistic. Then you'll be single at 70. Or my favorite one is I'll try. You gonna do it, girl? I'ma try. No, you're not. You hear me? You said that sounds so weird, even with you saying that. What you mean? What sound weird, Toy? What sound weird? You are reinforcing limitation when you say shit. And I'm not saying that you must deny reality. I'm not saying if you walk into $1 million house and you got $10 in your pocket that you have to deny reality. What I'm saying is this. Listen, I said, no, I said when people say that, I never say I can't afford shit. I may not listen. When I go into some place and when I go somewhere, I'll be like, I may not have everything I need right now, but bitch, I'll be back. Give me a week. That I'm saying when people say that I can't afford that, yeah, it do sound weird because I don't never say no shit like that. It ain't nothing out here I can't afford. I mean, I got all I need is a plan to get it. Once I get a plan, that's it. When I go look at some shit, and then whether it's a house or whatever the fuck it is, when I go look at something, I'll be back. When I tell motherfucker I'll be back, I'll be back. I mean that. I'm not just saying it the bullshit. I'll be back. I'll be like, how long? Give me a week. I'll be back. Because I'm about to get a plan in place. Because I know that there's nothing out here there's nothing I want that I can't have. You understand me? There's nothing I want that I can't have. But here's the deal. Don't just say I'll be back or let me get a plan if you really ain't got no plan together. If you really listen, you really got to believe that money is energy. You really got to believe that just like a magnet, two magnets are pulled towards each other. That's how you and money can be a magnet. You got to understand that what you got in your bank account today don't define who you are tomorrow. That's just your starting point. That's not your end. And I think that's where people fuck up at. I tell people if I could lose it all today and get it back tomorrow because I always have a plan in place, a plan to make shit happen. I have a financial foundation that I've built over the last 4 years how to get this fucking bread. Not only how to, and it's not about getting money, it's about having freedom, the freedom that money gives you. That's what it is. That's what I like. The freedom to go to lay in the bed and watch Abbott Elementary on your phone, or whatever the fuck you want to do, and then take a nap and then go get back up and whatever it is. I don't have to punch nobody's motherfucking clock. That's freedom. I'm not in it for the bread. I'm in it for the freedom. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So I want to say this, the way you frame reality determines how you move within it. Say this again, the way you frame reality determines how you move within it. I can't afford that closes the door. Right? When you say I can't afford that, it closes the door to whatever you're looking at. But if you say if it aligns, I can create capacity, keeps the door open. Or I'm about to go, let me get a plan together. I'll be back in a week. That keeps the door open. Right? Now, when you say I don't have time, that ends discussion. When you're talking about doing something, I want to go back to school, but I don't have the time, right? I want to do XYZ, but I don't have the time. That ends a discussion. If you say I haven't prioritized that yet, That places responsibility back into your hands. You can do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. You want to go back to school, go back to school. I don't give a fuck if you're raising kids, grandkids, or whatever. If you want to, whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. And I don't think nobody's telling y'all that. And that's the problem. Because we stop pouring into ourselves. People stop pouring into other people when they're kids. We stop pouring into people when they're kids. We don't go. When the last time somebody walked up to you and you 45 and told you can do whatever it is that you want to do? When the last time somebody told you that? We don't pour into each other like that. We only pour into each other when we hit rock bottom. And a lot of times, oh girl, you can get back up. You got this. We pour into each other. We shouldn't have to wait to pour into each other until we hit fucking rock bottom. I should be able to tell you, Keisha, you can do whatever it is that you want to do today. You don't have to be rock bottom. DTD Black Queen 1. You can be wherever the fuck you is. You want to be a lawyer, doctor, and a journalist? Go for it. I support you, bitch. I support you, bitch. You got this. I'm not gonna wait until you hit rock bottom. I'm not gonna wait until you fucked up to try to pour into you. I'm telling you right now, the shit that you say to yourself matters. I'm telling it to you right now. You got to put yourself first. I'm telling you right now, that shit you learned as a child, we can unlearn that today. But here's the deal: unlearning it and taking action are two different things, right? What I'm giving y'all is neural, not neutral, is neural reinforcement. Right? Every repeated sentence becomes an identity rehearsal. What every time when I start my live, what do I tell y'all? My name is Coach Misty. I'm an identity strategist, a transformation coach, a manifestation queen, and an overall bad bitch. I say the same thing every time I start a live. I'm not saying this because it's rehearsed. I'm not saying it because it's going to pick up in traffic. It's going to put me on FYP page. I'm saying that shit because listen, this is who I am. Every repeated sentence becomes an identity rehearsal. I'm an identity strategist, a transformation coach, a manifestation queen, and an overall bad bitch. Hmm? Why? Because every repeated sentence becomes an identity rehearsal, and you can't just repeat it to yourself. You got to tell other people that shit. You got to tell other people that. You got to change how people see you. You got to let other people know this is who I am. And these glasses get on my nerves. You got to tell other people this is who I am. And this is who I am to the point that I'm able to tell you this is who I am. And it ain't never going to change about who the fuck I am. I am who I am. You may not like who I am, but you're going to understand who I am. Right? So I'm going to talk about this. Now, let me tell you why you've been living in scarcity and why you haven't broken out of it. Here's the deal: scarcity feels safe. It do. Right? And I want you to know safety is not about comfort. I ain't say you was comfortable. Scarcity feels safe. Safety is about predictability. See, here, when you're dealing with the same nickel for the same amount of time, you know what you're going to get. It's easy to deal with the same low life than it is to go find somebody who's going to love you properly because you don't know what you're going to get out there in the streets. So you stay there. It's easy to stay in the same job where you're going to get the same paycheck on the same day and have the same problems and they're going to serve pizza on the same Friday than it is to get out there and put yourself out on LinkedIn or go ahead and change your resume and go on interviews. You know why? Because scarcity feels safe. I know what I'm getting over here. I may not get all that I want, but I know what the deal is over here. And I'm speaking from experience. I've been in relationships with people. I would instead of me putting I would put myself out there for a minute, get bored, and then go back into the same relationship with somebody I knew wasn't no fucking good for me. You know why? Because of the scarcity deal. I was like, you know what? I know what I'm getting over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just stay over here. I know what kind of bullshit he on, right? I stayed at a job too long because I didn't feel like going to look for another job. Interviewing for jobs gets stressful. I ain't gonna lie, interviewing, then you take your time to go out and interview, you get dressed, you learn all the shit about the company, only for them to be like, oh, we hired somebody else or whatever. So it's a lot. And sometimes you say, you know what, I'm just gonna stay at the place I am. I've done that before, right? I'm gonna say this: if you have experienced chaos, struggle, or anything like that, it becomes predictable. It becomes predictable, right? And predictable feels safe even when it's painful. If you know that you're gonna get your income tax money in March and by June you're gonna be broke again, if that's what you've experienced over the last 10 years, now it becomes predictable. You prepare yourself to be broke. How many people have been through that? You prepare yourself to be broke. I told y'all a long time ago. I used to get my car repoed every October. Not every October, but the repossessions I had back in the day happened around October. I don't know what the fuck it was about October. And then I realized that I had started programming myself to expect my money to be funny come October. On my birthday, I had a ball. For my birthday, it was like the decline. My birthday, I had a ball. August was school time, right? September, I'm just trying to make it by October. I normally be fucked up. So if my car got repoed 2 years straight or whatever, 2 Octobers, then I started, listen, good friend, and then I started thinking about that. I started expecting my car to get repoed in October. That was about, and it was if I, instead of forming a plan, y'all, this is before I try to change my mindset. Instead of forming a plan on how not to get my car repossessed in October, I would start preparing myself not to have a fucking car in October. Ain't that the craziest shit you ever heard? To prepare yourself not to have a car in October? That's some wild shit. But guess what? It's not too wild because a lot of us do stuff like that. Again, if you have experienced chaos or struggle, it becomes predictable. And being predictable feels safe even when it's painful. Abundance, listen, abundance introduces the unpredictable. When you operate in abundance, everything shit ain't when listen, doing what I do, this shit is unpredictable. I may open up my email today and find out that I've been invited back to TikTok office. Unpredictable. I may open up my email and find two brands that want to partner with me and offer me a dumbass amount of money. Abundance introduces the unpredictable. I want you to know that more money means more responsibility. A lot of people say, oh, I need $10,000 a month, but do you have $10,000 worth of time? More money means more responsibility. More success means more visibility. You understand me? See, when I was just doing big ass workout or when I was a teacher, I could go places and nobody didn't know who the fuck I was and I could eat my dinner. Now, when I go out places, people be looking, I follow you online. Okay, girl, what's up, Buttercup? What we doing? Right? But that's okay. More success means more visibility. Also, more love means more vulnerability. Right? If your nervous system associates vulnerability with loss, you will unconsciously reset expansion or resist expansion. I'm going to say this again. If your system associates vulnerability with loss, if you don't want to be vulnerable, if you feel like being vulnerable in your relationship means that you lose control and you're not running shit, you are going to resist expansion. Bitch, you are never going to get married. You are never going to go to that next step because you feel like I'm losing control of who I am. I'm losing me in this relationship because somebody asked you to be vulnerable. Guess what? You'll be back to square one, right? And here's the deal, not because you're incapable, because you are trained to do so. If you are trained to be a strong woman, if you are trained to be this strong woman who does things on her own, and then you say you want a man and you meet a man who want to do shit for you, but in doing shit for you, that requires you to sit the fuck down sometime and shut the fuck up, then guess what? If you are not open to being more vulnerable and open to making changes, you will be back to square one, which is single. And then that will what reinforce the narrative that ain't no good men out here. Did I step on anybody's toes yet? Did I step on anybody's toes yet? Hmm? Did I tell anybody's story yet? Did I piss anybody off? Yes, no, maybe so. Is anybody pissed off yet? No. I'm not talking about nobody's life yet. I'm the only one that experienced that. I'm not talking about nobody yet. Oh, okay. No problem. Let's talk about retraining. I know fucking well some of y'all going through that shit right now with your strong ass. Please. Please. Y'all not gonna sit up here and tell me, listen, y'all ain't gonna sit up here and tell me that ain't nobody going through that right now. Puff fucking please. Stop it. You won't even let a man open up the door for you for telling him you better open up the door for me. Y'all be fucking up. Huh? You say I don't want to be strong and independent no more. Me neither. I can't do shit. I can't do nothing. I be telling Cardinal help me out my clothes. I can't do shit. Uh my hands get my shit don't work. I be telling Cardinal I can't do nothing. What do you mean? I can't do anything. Police. Nothing. Okay. Listen, don't listen. Don't I can't do shit. You hear me? Mm-mm. That be me. Nothing. Police. I'm gonna say this to say that you do not think your way out of scarcity. So let's talk about how to retrain your system. Because some people be like, well, I'm gonna have positive thoughts, I'm gonna have affirmations, and I'm gonna change the way I think. You cannot think your way out of scarcity. You retrain your way out of it. So this just ain't a thinking exercise. This ain't I'm gonna be positive every day and I'm gonna say positive good shit to me. I'm gonna look in the mirror. You are smart, you are kind, you are beautiful. Bitch, that don't work. You got to do something about it, right? Retraining requires standards, number one. So when you get to retrain, listen, when you get to retrain yourself, retraining requires standards. A standard is a pre-decided rule about how you operate. How many people have rules of life? How many people have standards? Huh? How many people have standards that are not built on negativity? Let me say that. How many people have standards that are not built on negativity? Not, I ain't gonna deal with no liars. I don't want nobody. No, I'm talking about standards that are just built on how you operate. Everybody know my number one rule. I don't do shit I don't want to do. Number one rule, I don't do nothing I don't want to do. Not a goddamn thing. You can't nobody make me do shit I don't want to do. If I don't want to do it, I ain't doing it. And that's just that. I don't explain myself. I don't negotiate with myself. I don't negotiate with others. If I want to do it, I don't do it. And that's just it. Huh? And if you question why I don't want to do something, then you're not respecting my boundaries. You don't respect me as a person. And now I don't want to do you either. I don't want to do it. And I respect other people. When I ask them to do something, they be like, I don't want to do it. I don't be like, well, why you don't want to do it? Okay, that's cool. And I go on about my business, right? That's my number one standard, right? For example, instead of reacting emotionally to money, you implement a rule that says, I do not make financial decisions from urgency. Right? One of the standards that you can adopt is I do not make financial decisions from urgency. Right? Instead of tolerating inconsistency in relationships, I want you to implement a rule that says access requires consistency. In order for you to have access to me, you have to be consistent. Stop letting people call you every blue moon. Girl, how you doing? Bitch, stop calling here. What you want? Girl, I was just checking on you. Obviously, we ain't like that, and that's okay. And that's okay. Obviously, we not like that. You ain't got to keep calling and checking on me. Okay, access requires consistency. Instead of postponing rest, you implement a rule that says rest is scheduled and not earned. Schedule you a fucking nap. I used to schedule naps when I first started. First started my entrepreneur uh life. I'm talking about like being a solopreneur, meaning that I didn't work no other job. I started with rest. I started resting. Like I would schedule naps all day long. I would schedule resting, and I would be like, oh, from 2 to 3:15, I'm gonna take a nap. And I would stop whatever the fuck I was doing and go to sleep and lay down. Maybe I didn't go to sleep all the way, but I would lay down. Yeah, rest is scheduled and not earned. Also, I want you to know that standards, when you have standards, they remove negotiation. Again, like I said, you can't tell me if my nap time was from 2 to 3:15, don't fucking call me. Standards remove negotiation. Listen, scarcity thrives in negotiations. Right? When you debate with yourself long enough, fear wins. Did you hear what I say? When you debate with yourself long enough about some shit, fear wins. And I want you that standards, when you have standards that bypass debate. Now, I know I've been giving you a lot of stuff. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, please join the live and talk to me. This is your time to ask me questions. If you have any questions about the shit that I'm giving you, I need you to join the live and let's talk about it. So now we're going to talk about how you can enforce things. Remember, I told you we need to set our standards, and now we have to enforce them, because enforcement, what builds identity? Enforcement builds identity. It didn't say I didn't just wake up one day and be like, fuck that. I ain't gonna do nothing I don't want to do and just stood on it. No, I had to enforce that shit every day. People would call me. I'm telling you, as soon as you make a rule, now this is the crazy part. As soon as you create a rule for yourself, you ain't got to tell nobody. People gonna start calling you, and people gonna start testing that rule. It's like the universe is gonna send out a bad signal. This bitch that made a rule for herself. Let's try it. And people gonna start testing you. Niggas is gonna call you that you ain't hurt. Listen, how do you hear your highest self? You cut out all the fucking distractions. You decide who you are. When you decide who you are, for real, when you adopt an identity of who you want to be and decide who you are, you'll stop hearing all the distractions, because most of the distractions is other people in your fucking ear. Most people, listen, when you stand on your rules and stand on standards, when you create something for yourself and say, well, this is what I'm doing, and you moving that shit every day, the people who benefited from you being dumb are going to remove themselves from your life. And you won't have all that yippity yap 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 in your ear. You don't have that. You be like, well, I need somebody to talk to. You'll find different people to talk to. You'll find a different circle of folks to talk to, right? Because your energy will be different. You'll attract a different amount of people. You taking your identity courses, or you can join the highest self, and let me show you. Week 2 is up. If y'all in the high self circle, week 2 is out. Go ahead and take your course, answer the questions, and take the test. I'm gonna say this: you can write standards all day, but if you do not enforce them, they are wishes. You hear me? If you do not enforce the shit that you say, it's nothing but a wish. Every time you enforce a standard, especially when it's uncomfortable, you retrain your nervous system. Every time you do it. Every time I told people no with a period at the end, it was hard at first. When I started telling my family no, and that was just that. You say I got quiet? No. It was hard at first to tell my kids no about certain shit, to tell my mama no. It was hard. All right. Go to go.imcoachmissy.com if you see this sticker on the screen, or you can click the link in my bio and you'll see where it says join the higher self circle and start at the welcome one. Week 1 and 2 is up, but start with the welcome one and then do the work and work your way down. Only do one course a week. Only do one course a week. Okay. Just do week 1, the second week 2. Don't try to go through all of it. It's not going to stick if you do that. Okay. So I'm going to repeat this. Every time you enforce a standard, especially when it's uncomfortable, you retrain your nervous system. You teach your body that stability is safe. Safe. You teach your body that enough is safe. Over time, abundance becomes less dramatic. Huh? Let's talk about that. How abundance becomes normal over a certain amount of time. Abundance becomes less dramatic. And that's the goal, right? We don't want the hype, not the intensity. We want normalization. Your body learns to expect more. I always expect more. I always know that more is coming. Not saying I'm not happy with what I have, but I know that things are out here for me. You understand me? I expect more all the time. That's what I do. I expect more all the time. What do you mean? You can, H Town, sign up. The Higher Self Circle has this built-in affiliate program. I'm about to introduce 360 affiliate. We're a transformation page where all the stuff that y'all learning and doing, you can recruit somebody else, or give to somebody else and get paid for just sharing a good word. All right. So let's talk about your work this week. Remember, I talked about the I do, we do, and you do portion of it, right? So this week is about observation and correction. So the work I want you to do this week is about observation and correction. You are not changing your entire life in 7 days. You are not changing your entire life within 7 days. You are catching one scarcity phrase. That's what you're doing over the next 7 days. What don't you see, melanated bliss? What don't you see? You are catching, listen, you said just turned 60 and I still believe I will eventually get love and find married. Stop saying eventually. When is eventually going to happen? See, here's the deal. I keep telling y'all, you are one pimp decision away from changing your life. Stop saying eventually. Because saying eventually, I have you 70 years old saying, I eventually. No, there's no eventually. Decide today that you're going to get married in 12 months or 6 months or whatever the case may be, and you stand on that shit. Everybody you meet, you tell them, hey, I'm marriage minded. I'm getting married next year. You want to be the guest or the groom? That's what I used to tell people. I'm getting married next year. You want to be the guest or the groom? Which one you going to be? I wait. The guest or the groom? What we doing? I didn't say eventually. I didn't say one day. If no, you're gonna be the guest or the groom. You got to stand on that shit, and you got to move in that every day. And listen, for people that's in relationships and want to get married, stop trying to act as a wife and be a bride. That's the problem. People be like, oh, you was getting your wifey on. No, I didn't get my wifey on until I became a wife. I was treating myself as a bride. Do you understand how that works? See, in order to be a wife, in order to be a wife, you first have to be a bride. A lot of us skip that wife. We skip that bride part and go right into wifey mode, and don't understand why the people we won't marry us. They don't have to. You already given them everything they want right now. Why would they marry? Why would they go through the thing of marrying you if you've already skipped the marriage and started being a wife? No, I was a bride. Hmm. Thank you, I'm bossed up. I was a bride. So what you're gonna do is I want you to listen, find one scarcity. I want you to go ahead and find one scarcity phrase. One. and you are replacing it with a standard based statement. Huh? And you are using that correction repeatedly, not because it feels good, because it builds identity. So you said, what is bride activity? Well, I'll tell you, number one, I'm delulu as fuck. So number one, I live in delusion, baby. So what I started doing is I started buying a whole bunch of bride shit. I started buying stuff. I had a headband. This was last year. I started buying a headband that was the bride stuff. I started preparing. What does the bride do? She prepares for her bridal party. She prepares for the big day. And that's what I started doing. Right? I started preparing for that big day. Yeah. I did. Didn't have a date. Didn't have it. I had a day in mind. I started preparing for it. Everybody I met, everybody that was interested in me, called themselves being interested in me. I told them that I was a bride. I'm going to be a bride. So what you gonna do about it? That's another thing. Is I made the announcement to the world. I would get on live and I would wear these bride headbands. I wasn't engaged to nobody. Right. But the people who were interested in me. Now here's the deal also. I wasn't sitting at home saying, oh, I'm gonna be a bride and wasn't talking to nobody. I put myself out there. I was on, remember that? Yeah. I was on the dating. I was on the dating sites. I was going out on dates and things of that nature. But everybody that called themselves being interested in me, I told them, listen, I told them day one what it was. Like, I'm going to get married. If you're not marriage minded, if you're not open to marriage, don't fuck with me. Move on. I'm not your girl. I'm not the one for you. So I didn't deal with nobody who wasn't marriage minded. So everybody that I dealt with was all married. Everybody was about marriage. So I was getting my bride shit. I was dealing with everybody who was about marriage. I told them day one what it was. I didn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep it to myself because I don't want to run them off or this, that, and the other." I had fucking house shoes that had bride shit on them. I had bought a bride tote bag. I had a bridal thing that said bride on it. All that stuff, and I would wear it every day. Every day I would put my bride shit on. Every day that, right? I was preparing for my big day every day. Then, okay, I'm not gonna go into the whole story. Then I decided that I was tired of dating all these different dudes, and I did the ultimate date thing. I held a pop the balloon dating contest at my old house. I did the ultimate. Now, some people may not go that far, but I held a pop the balloon. I invited every nigga that I had dated, that I was interested in at one time, to my house. Some that was new, some that was old. Okay. Some of them that I was just cool with, but I knew wanted to be with me. I invited everybody. She said, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. Yeah. I did a pop the balloon. Yeah. It was a pool party on June. What was that? June 21st. The pool party. Yeah. I did. That's how my husband. Yeah. I said to myself, I put my black magic shit on. Listen, I put my black magic shit on. Listen. I put my black magic shit on, and I was just like, "This what we doing?" What you mean? What happened? H Town, you new here? Is H Town new? H Town say, "Well, what happened?" H Town, you must be new here, girl. Girl, what do you mean? My wedding band is in the room. Oh, you are new? Okay, friend. Well, shit, it's so many goddamn shit. This what happened. Hold on. Listen, that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, I did a pop the balloon. I did a pop the balloon. My husband, Cardinal, he came to the event, and he came to the pop the balloon. He was one of the dudes. It was five dudes that stood in line for me, or some other ones that was there that was kind of watching. I actually had a guy who had drove in from I had a dude that had drove in from New Orleans to spend the weekend with me. And he knew I was doing a pop the balloon. So I had a dude that had drove in from New Orleans after he had a job driving, and he drove in. He was staying at my house for the weekend. Baby, player. He was at my house for the weekend. He didn't help cook food with everybody. He didn't help cook food. He didn't spend the night. He was at my house for the weekend, and I had all these other niggas show up. This is the pool party right here. That's Cardinal in red. That's another dude holding his balloon. And that's what started it. Yep. So that's how that started. Yeah, he used to be a recording artist. Yeah, he used to be a recording artist. Yeah, and that's how it started. So listen, I intentionally said this. I said, I'm tired of dating all these niggas. I had this pool party. I invited everybody who claimed they loved me. Yeah. I invited everybody who claimed they loved me. That was on June 21st. I had the pool party. I had a dude that was at my house that weekend from New Orleans. Cardinal was the one who won and popped the balloon. I still had other dudes that was there. I still had other dudes at the after we did the pop the balloon. That's what I'm saying. You got to be intentional and stand on business. After we did the pop the balloon, we all went inside and played spades. So imagine sitting at a spades table with three motherfuckers who want you. I was playing spades. Cardinal's partner was this dude named Marvin. I had been dating Marvin for a minute, like hanging out with Marvin or whatever. I would see Marvin more than I would see anybody else because we lived in the same area. He lived pretty close and he was an entrepreneur as well. He had his own business. And so Marvin would come and take me out on dates and stuff. We would hang out a lot. And Marvin was Cardinal's partner. Yes. Everybody sat at the table at the same fucking time. I was hanging out. I hadn't seen Cardinal in over a year. I was dating Marvin. What else? I was hanging out with Marvin. I had just met this other dude. I forgot his name. He was brand new, but he was my fucking spades partner. And then I had other dudes that had came through. Everybody had to come through. They had to bring something. Everybody brought a motherfucking bottle. Yes, they knew that. Everybody knew what the fuck it was. Yes, they knew what the fuck it was. Absolutely. Because guess what? Until I say I'm somebody's girl, I'm nobody's girl. I'm single. Yeah. Everybody knew they was there. Everybody knew they was in that bitch fighting for my love. Everybody. There was not a secret. It said pop the balloon. Pop the balloon dating. Everybody knew who was there for me. Where else they gonna come from? And every time somebody walked out, every time somebody got ready to leave, I would stop what I was doing and walk the dude to the door and thank them for coming. Please. Yeah. So, huh? You said you tried to openly date, but they was all too jealous and didn't go well. Then you weren't openly dating. I ain't say they didn't get jealous and when nobody gonna act a fool in my house. When nobody gonna act stupid in my house. I gave everybody attention. I showed everybody a good time. I gave everybody attention. I went and played at three different spades tables. I gave everybody attention. Okay. Yeah. Everybody. I went and played. I was different partners with people. You know what I'm saying? But of course, people was watching and looking and shit. Like dudes was watching, like, oh, this dude talking to her, this, that, and the other. Marvin invited me to the Turks and Caicos in front of the shit. He was Cardinal's partner, invited me to Turks and Caicos in front of the other dudes. I thought it was comical to say the least. I thought it was comical. He invited me to Turks and Caicos in front of everybody. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, it was intentional dating. Cardinal won the pop the balloon. Cardinal and I talked. That was June 21st. We went out on our first date July 4th. He asked me to be his girlfriend July 16th. August 16th, I moved into his home. We talked about it. I let my house go. I moved into his home August 16th. We got married December 30th. Bada boom, bada bing. How you handle intimacy about what? What you mean, how you handle intimacy with what? I know I'm about to close this class out, but what you mean, H Town? H Town, can you talk? What you mean with them? And you ain't got to fuck everybody. You ain't got to fuck everybody at the same time. And if you do, that's fine. You ain't got to fuck everybody at the same time. Marvin used to take me out on holidays. I never had sex with Marvin. And whatever I did, I'm gonna leave it like that because I don't, my husband, I'm married now. What you mean they want to? Okay, Jazzy, book a session with me so I can coach you on some shit. Book a session with me so I can coach you on some shit. Cause you like everybody want to kiss and everybody, girl, scarcity. Book a session, girl. Go to imcoachmisa.com, scroll all the way to the bottom and book a private session. Okay, cause please, everybody got a kiss on them. Everybody got some type of kiss when they left that night. Hey, what? Please. But let me say that. A lot of y'all can't do that because your identity, you haven't adopted a certain identity. A lot of men who used to like me would say, like, I fuck with you, Misty, but if I fuck with you, I'ma hurt you because I know how you are. Not in a bad way. Identity standards. You understand what I'm saying? People who fuck with me knew I was gonna fuck with somebody else. So whatever your day is, get it in. Today is your day. What we doing? Today is your day. What we doing, Stink? And they knew what it was. So either you accept it or you don't. And some dudes like, I fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it's today I literally would have grown ass men, successful grown ass men hit me up and saying, it's today my day. Today your day, Stink. Come on, let's go. What we doing today? Today is your day. And whatever day that was, now did they try to hate and be like, oh, I want to stay the night over, or I want to, or what we doing tomorrow, or we try to keep planning shit for us. So they didn't know who was coming tomorrow. That's none of their business. Huh? Your time is up. Be blessed. Grab a bottle of water by the door. But here's the deal. That's an identity I had already. That's who I was. And listen, when you stand on who you are and it is really ingrained in you and who you are, that's what people accept. You can't do nothing but fuck with me. Nothing. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Either you gonna fuck with her or you not. You see what I'm saying? Either you gonna fuck with me or you not. Now, see, let me stop talking about this because see, y'all bringing back the old. Y'all bringing back the old Kanye. Let me go get my wedding band and put it on. I am married. I am married. I am married. Because y'all bringing back the old Kanye. Now I am married. I am happily married to my husband, Big Unc, aka Cardinal, aka what Zoe call him, Red Robin. Listen, I am happily married to my finance husband, with his finance. Okay, I am happily married. Okay, he called me Snore Isha. I am happily married, and I wake up to his finance every day. I am happily married because he talking about this shit brought out another beast in me. Okay, I am happily married. I have on my abaya. I am happily married. Okay, woosah. All right, and okay. Listen, what did I say, bitch? I am happily married. I am happily married. Because listen, the old Kanye, listen, listen, the old Kanye ain't no joke. Absolutely the fuck not. Okay? The old Kanye ain't no fucking joke. I am happily married. Baby, the old Kanye full of shit. Not me. You say where the other ones at? Girl, I don't know where the fuck they at. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm married. My husband. I don't know where these niggas is at. Somewhere being them amazing, I hope. I don't know where everybody at. I don't worry about what other niggas are at. That's the type of shit that keep you fucked up. I have nothing. The only person I'm worried about where they at is Cardinal. Cardinal D motherfucking McCullough. That's where they at. I don't know. Girl, you worry about the wrong shit. You don't want nobody that I done been with. You worry about the wrong shit. I don't know where these other niggas are at. Somewhere minding their business. Go on. I can coach you on how to get you one. I can coach you on how to find you one and how to get what it is that you want. I am very good at that. And I don't want you, don't be out here dating somebody just because you single. I want you to be with who the fuck you want to be with. And that's just that. Don't go out here and be fucking off and just dating because I don't want to be by myself or he really ain't my type. But don't do that. I coach a lot of women on dating now, right? And I don't want to coach you. If you want to get married, and I coach you how to date to get married. If you just want to have fun, I will coach you on that as well. But whatever it is, make sure, listen, shut up, Ashley. Ashley, that's my home. Ashley, my homegirl from high school, to my put me in the game, coach. Shut your ass up, Ashley. Please. Ashley, to my put me in the game. Now, Ashley know the real me. Ashley, now, hey, Ashley, have I changed or not? Ashley know who I am for real. Okay? When I got married, everybody was like, you got married? Fuck, let me go on and settle down. Ashley, huh? She. She. She talking about, yes, Lord. Shut up, Ashley. Not too much on me. All right, y'all. Any questions about the class, baby? We didn't. Bitch, bitch, I've been a mess for a long time, okay? Okay. Bitch, I've been clowning for a long time. What's up, Buttercup? I've been clowning for a long time, okay? Huh, when people find out that I got married, they said, oh, well, let's go ahead. It's a wrap. Let's go ahead and call a thing a thing. All right. Any questions, y'all, about how to unlearn scarcity? Listen, the shit I write about is just a drop in a bucket. Ashley and them used to call me a wild boy. Ashley and them would be like, that's a wild boy right there. People are like, what you mean a wild boy? They're like, oh, that's a wild boy right there. For real. That's a wild boy right there. So listen, I've come a long way. I've come a very long way, baby Jesus. Okay? I think everybody know it too. A long way. Shit. Cardinal know it. Now I'm about to go ahead and close out this class. If y'all ain't got no questions about hmm, if y'all ain't got no questions about what we talked about, let me go ahead and say this to say that. Huh? Scarcity is learned. Let me go back to the class because y'all got me up here tripping. Scarcity is learned. That means that it is not your destiny. Whatever it is that you're going through right now does not have to be your destiny. It's not your end game. Scarcity is learned. It means that you were trained. If you feel like money don't grow on trees, listen. If you feel like you say I'm really worried about my money was just playing, no, you wasn't, H-Town. Now, one thing for about it, the two things for sure, I ain't gonna let y'all come in here and bullshit a bullshitter. Listen, the thing that you worry about most is the thing. Listen, and here's the deal. Talking about a man could be related to money because a lot of women want a man that's gonna come in and help them or be a provider. But what I came out on let y'all do is bullshit a bullshitter. That's what we not gonna do. I know, listen, I've been fucking with people way too long to be like, oh no, I won't worry. Yes, the fuck you are. And that's okay. And that's why I'm here to help you hoes. Cause sometimes we do be worried about that, especially if you a woman and you feel like you got a lot to offer, whatever, you be like, shit, hey, my money feeling a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And if your money is fucked up and then you want a relationship, like all that go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like money and a relationship or having somebody to help you with that. And I always tell women, get yourself together first. Cause if you don't, you're gonna end up fucking with somebody who ain't on your level. You either gonna meet somebody where y'all got the same type of fucking energy and you be like, oh, we gonna work together. Don't nobody wanna hear that shit. Or you gonna end up meeting a motherfucker that can't do nothing for you. And even if you do meet a man who is a provider and you don't have your shit together and you constantly got your hand out, you'll become a liability and not an asset. And he gonna leave you where you stand. Most men who look for women to take care of, once either you're going to stay in that state. If you find a man that wants to take care of you all the time, then you need to stay in that fucked up state all the time. In order for him to be attracted to you, he has to need you. Now, I'm gonna say to say that when I was building my businesses and stuff like that, and I was dating, I would come across a lot of men who would be like, oh no, like I can't date you. Men would tell me this. I can't date you because you don't need me for nothing. And I would be like, what? They'd be like, you don't need me. I had men, grown men with businesses and money come out their mouth and say, I cannot date you because you don't need me for nothing. And I thought that shit was crazy, but it was real because their identity is based on being a provider. So if a woman don't need them for shit, especially when they used to come to my old house, they would come to my house and be like, oh, hell no. When a man would walk in my house, the house I had before I moved in with Cardinal, right? When a man would walk in my house and do this, when he would walk in that bitch and do this, it was over right then and there. I didn't even, it was nothing for us to talk about. I knew I wasn't going to invite him back no more, because when he did this, he wasn't used to shit. When he looked around like this, he come to motherfucking do this. He wasn't used to nothing. And either he was going to treat me, either he was going to come at me as if if he's going to ask me for something, or he wasn't going to be interested because I had more than what he had, right? And I'm not saying that if you live in an apartment and I live in a house, it's going to be a problem, because you could, I don't know what you could have had, but when you do this shit, and then he look at me and be like, "What you do again?" Absolutely the fuck not. Story over, game time over. Good luck, goodbye, good luck on your journey, because it's gonna be an uphill battle. Either I'm gonna have to minimize who I am, hey friend. Either I'm gonna minimize who I am in order to make you feel good about yourself, or you gonna want me to bring you up to a different level. And either way, none of that shit is going to work for me. So goodbye. And we will be done with it. So I always tell women, get your shit together first. I'm not telling you to become a boss, but what I'm telling you, or get on some boss level shit. I hate the word boss too. What I'm telling you is become stable and become secure in yourself. So when you meet somebody, you don't have your hand out all the fucking time. Right? When you meet somebody, when your energy changes too, also about becoming financially secure before you become to get in the relationship, is that your energy changes, right? The type of people you attract is gonna change. You can't be broke and then want a motherfucker with money. You're not going to naturally attract a person, because your mindset is not the same. Again, if you are living in a situation where you're going through financial hardships, 9 times out of 10, you have a scarcity mindset. That's why you're going through financial hardships, because of your mindset, not your environment, not your job, because your mindset. And so you want somebody who doesn't have the same type of mindset. Y'all not going to click. Y'all might do something physically or something like that, but y'all not going to click because your mindset is different. And that's just that. All right. Anyway, have y'all seen a picture of y'all seen a video of my husband? Y'all want to see a video, Cardinal? Huh? Okay. That's him. Yeah. Yeah. That motherfucking chocolate delight. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's probably one of my favorite videos of him. Thank you. It's one of my favorite videos of him. Last night we was at the VFW. Any questions before we close out this last night we was at the VFW, and I was coming out the bathroom, and this man was playing pool, and the dude, y'all be back tonight. This man was playing pool, and this man looked at me, and he walked up to me. The man, I was walking out the bathroom. Cardinal was over there by the machines talking to people. So I had to go to use the bathroom. We was about to leave, and I'm from out the bathroom, and this man was playing pool, and he looked me up and down, and then he got right in my goddamn pathway. And he stopped me and he was like, "Oh, you look like," he talking about, "Oh, you look like you didn't hit big on the machines." He was flirting with me, and I'm looking at him like I'm trying to do Morse code. Like, you don't see my husband over there? Listen, thank you, Zaran. Look, you don't see my husband over there? I'm trying to do more. Hey, nigga, SOS. The fuck? You don't see? So Cardinal, look, Cardinal did this. And Cardinal started walking because the dude wouldn't let me move past him. And I was like, "Oh, no, because I knew the dude was in my face, flirting like a motherfucker." And Cardinal looked, and Cardinal walked up. He was like, "Yeah, she did pretty good." And was like, "Come on." And so we walked out. Hey, I'm blinking at the man like, "Sir, sir, sir." My husband right there. The man flirting like a motherfucker. Hey, hey, hey. So we walk out. Cardinal talking about, "I can't take your ass nowhere." He said, "I can't take your ass nowhere." He said, one of the guys in there won some money last night, and the dude started passing out. He hit big on the machine, and the dude passed out money. Cardinal talking about, "Yeah." And I saw, "Oh boy, he gave you some money first." He said, "Then he gave everybody else some money." I said, "So you trying to tell me that man gave all of y'all some money just so he give me some money?" And he's talking about, "Shit, at this point, I don't even know." And I told the boy, I said, "Well, that other guy that be talking to me when we go to the machines." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "So now we married, I can go ahead and tell you shit." I said, "Well, he give me money all the time." Carter talk about what? I said, "He give me money all the time." He just be feeding me 20. Baby, what? Cardinal said, oh, hell no. Cardinal said, oh, we sitting there. He said, next time we sit next to each other. We can't be, you be sitting down at one end, I'll be at the other. He said, no, we about to be sitting next to each other. Absolutely, absolutely not. I said, then people just looking out for you. They looking out for your wife. What do you mean? They looking out for your wife. Okay? These men are giving me money to play because they're looking out for your wife. Okay? It's because they, so I can't take no more money from people at the VFW. I can't take no more 20s. Bitch, I be, they just be putting the shit on my machine and I take it and I don't know what this mean, but I take that shit. They put the 20 on my machine and I just take it. I just slip it on in. I don't say nothing. Mm. Listen, you said start taking 50s. Girl, bye. All right, y'all, listen, I'm saying to say that. I wanted you to know, y'all, listen, that any type of scarcity thinking you have or any mindset you have, whatever the fuck you got going on, you wasn't born like that. You were trained into that. And if you were trained into it, you can out train it, right? And I want you to know that training requires structure. Training, listen, when you are trying to retrain yourself to be something bigger, better, and newer, training requires structure, it requires discipline, and it requires repetition. Okay. So if you want to casually do this, if you want to casually try to retrain yourself, then stay where you are. All right. But listen, if you want to install a different identity, you need an environment that reinforces that, right? Because unlearning requires structure. Shut up, Taylor. Unlearning requires structure. And this is why this circle been up here the highest time, the highest self circle. That's why I created the highest self circle for. You understand me? Listen, the highest self circle. Listen, so if you are serious about retraining, not just being inspired, because I'm not here to motivate you hoes, no time soon. If you are serious about retraining, you already know where to go. Just take a screenshot, click the link in my bio, or take a screenshot, go to the highest self circle, and go ahead and sign up. And let's get it, let's go. I'm not fucking around with y'all. Who is this? Mm, listen, oh Lord. Who is this? What? Uh, the pin number. Lord have mercy. All right. Listen, do not sign up for my, first of all, Facebook, YouTube has been amazing. Shout out to y'all. I'll be back later on tonight. I still owe y'all another credit class. We're going to talk about the big three: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. I'm about to go get me something to eat in my abaya. Okay. I still owe y'all that, but I'm about to go get me something to eat and I'll talk to y'all later. I'm about to go to the barbecue spot in my Muslim outfit. Yeah, I'm about to go to the barbecue. I'm about to go to TD's and go get me a sandwich. Go get me and go get me a pulled pork sandwich. That's what I'm about to do in my abaya. Hmm. Yeah, in my Chuck Taylors. Bismillah. All right, I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all. Sure, somebody just might change their life. Bye. Yeah.